Hello students. Now we shall look at the combined separating and throttling calorimeter for determining the dryness fraction of steam, wet steam. So as discussed, throttling calorimeter is used if the dryness fraction is very high, 0.95, 0.96, 0.97 and all, very close to 1. Then we can use the throttling calorimeter. But if the steam is wet, say with the dryness fraction of 0.85 or zero point 0.9, uh, then what happens? We first need to remove the water in that, and then subsequently the wet steam we will expand it or throttle it so that it becomes superheated by almost 5 degrees centigrade, that is beyond the dry saturated steam temperature for that particular pressure, so that we can get that pressure and temperature at the end state, and based on that we can use either the steam table for finding out the dryness fraction, or else we can also use the Mollier diagram to find out the dryness fraction through graphical route as well as through the steam table also. So this is a very simple process. You can see the diagram here. You can see the diagram here. A very simple diagram again. To the you can will start from the left. You got the left circle. You got the steam main. Okay, the steam main. So what we are doing first, we are finding out the pressure. What is the initial pressure? P1 we will find out. Here we are not finding out the temperature. Only pressure we are finding out P1. Okay, and the entire thing, please understand again, it is all insulated, not shown here. So we can see here that in the left you have got the steam main, and we are finding out the pressure 1 P1. Okay, first here this is a combined calorimeter. The first is a separating, where we separate the water. Okay, and the second is a throttling calorimeter, where we reduce the pressure so that the steam is expanded and it becomes wet steam becomes superheated steam. Very simple it is. So you can see how to separate water when the steam is passed through the sample tube. Here there is a change in direction. So the steam exit, steam whatever has to go, I will show you. You can see this is a sample, whatever boiler tube is there from where I am taking the sample. First I am finding the pressure. This is the initial pressure. So this unit is for separating, means I want separating the water first. Okay, and this whatever water I am separating, I am collecting it here and measuring this. Let this be mass M1. This is the M1 mass. Okay, then second what I will do, now the steam, how it is, the water is separated here. The when the steam is sent like this, the steam has to go like this now. So there is a change in direction. So the water molecules will not be able to go. The water molecules will fall down and will get collected in this separator. Okay, and now this steam whatever is going is more dry considering this initial condition. Considering this initial condition, this is more dry. Here again we'll expand. Here got a throttle valve. We'll expand it here. So after expansion, I am going to find the temperature. I am going to find out the pressure, both. Okay, so this value of P3 and T3 I am getting temperature as well as pressure, and this whatever is the steam is there, that is condensed, and here you will find out the M2 mass. Okay, this is a cooling water supply. This is a cooling water supply inside. So the this steam is converted to water and collected here. This is a condensate. As simple as this. So here is a two-step math process. First is the sample. I find out the P1. Then this is for removing the water. There is separator, water get collected. Again the steam comes like this here. Here it is expanded. The temperature and pressure are found, and this is the water finally connected. So this is how. And now the here when the steam is coming here, now it is in a superheated condition. So when it is in a superheated condition, then you can find out the enthalpy, like enthalpy of fluid, enthalpy of gas, you can calculate, and using the relationship, what is relationship is given here, using the relationship you can find out the dryness fraction. Or else alternative also, by finding using the Moller diagram also you can find out the dryness fraction. Okay, so just please listen. The steam from the main at the pressure P1 and dryness fraction X1 is passed through a separating device of the calorimeter as shown in the figure. So from the main pipe or main boiler we find the pressure one, P1 we find out. Dryness we don't know, but we'll call it as the dryness fraction is 1 because initial state is 1, we'll say. Okay, it is passed through a separating calorimeter. In the separating device, because of the sudden change in the flow direction of steam, some moisture in the steam gets condensed and falls into the separator. Here, as in the diagram you have seen, there is a direction in the change in the direction of the flow of steam. So because of this, what happens? The entire this moisture and all will get condensed and it will fall down. Only the steam will go. The pressure, the process occurs at a constant pressure P1. So whatever at a certain interval, let the mass of condensate collected in the separator be M1. So in the first separator, whatever the water is this condensate is collected, na? So that will call it as M1 kg. The remaining steam drier than the sample steam means initial condition X1. Now the which is entering is now at condition 2, that is X2. That is drier than the steam sample, means earlier suppose it is zero point 0.9, then after this moisture is removed it may become 0.91, 0.92, 0.93, like it will increase, dryness fraction will increase. This drier sample steam enters the throttle valve at section 2. At section 2, while the pressure is still P1, the dryness fraction X2 will be higher than the X1. Okay. Let the temperature and pressure of steam measured after throttling, which must be in the superheated region, be P3 and T3. So now when it is throttled, then the steam, wet steam will get converted into superheated steam, maybe plus around 5 degrees more superheat will be there. Okay, and the values of temperature and pressure will be taken as P3 and T3. Now based on these values of P3 and T3 in this both will be in the superheated region, we can plot in the Euler diagram, we can straight away plot the point 3 based on the Euler diagram. The entire throttle steam is condensed through the water cooled condenser. Okay. And let the condensate be now M3, final condensate. Okay. First we will discuss the Euler diagram. As shown in the figure, is the bottom para, a horizontal line is drawn at the state 3, which is fixed for measured value of P2 and P3 and T3 to intersect the P1 line at state 2. We will just see the Euler diagram, you will understand. Now this is the Euler diagram, enthalpy entropy diagram. Okay, so here again you can see to the left the curved line is the P1 line and the second curved line is the P2 line, pressure line. So I don't know in the wet region I don't know the state of the steam. So what we have done, first we have removed the moisture. The initial condition is 1, is given here, you can see the initial condition is given as 1. We don't know. Then after we remove the moisture or in the separating calorimeter, we call it the condition as 2. That also I don't know. Okay, and then we cannot get it converted into steam, super heated steam, that we know, that is P3 and T3. Okay, so what I am going to do here, again when I know this P3 and T3, when I know P3 and T3, then I will plot the lines on the line P3, wherever it is cutting the line, the intersection of this pressure and temperature is taking place, that point is called as 3. So this point I am able to plot on the Euler diagram, only one point, that is point 3 on P3 and P2 and T3. Okay, now because we know that this throttling is a constant enthalpy process or adiabatic process, then from the line 3 I'll take a dotted line, and that should intersect the initial pressure line P1. So that becomes the point 2. So this is how you are able to plot the uh, point 2, and you are able to find the dryness fraction. Okay. Now looking at the using this steam table basically. So initial water, whatever is condensate was collected, that is called M1, and the final condensate what you get is suppose M3. Okay. Then the mass of the steam sample is nothing but M1 plus M3. Okay, because M3 means all the steam is condensed now. Then let the mass of dry steam in the sample be MV kg. Okay, so dryness fraction of the sample X1 is equal to MV divided by M1 plus M3. Right? X1 is equal to MV, mass of vapor, divided by M1 plus M3. M1 is the mass of the water collected in the separator, and M3 is the final condensate. So MV is equal to X2 into M3. X2 is the dryness fraction second stator, and M3 is the final condensate of mass of the final condensate. So mass of vapor is equal to X2 into M3. Therefore, you can the earlier equation X1 we can rewrite is equal to, instead of MV, I'll write it as X2 M3 divided by M1 plus M3. Okay. Now here we have to only find out X2. So what we will find out? H3, because this process, entire process is, and enthalpy remains constant. H3 is equal to H2 is equal to, in bracket, 1 minus X2 bracket complete into HF plus X2 into Hg, where P is equal to P1. So at that particular pressure, so here H3 can be found from the superheated property table corresponding to P3, and T2 and HF and Hg can be found from the saturated property table corresponding to the pressure of P1. See, here there are two things. One is saturated property table, and another is a superheated property table. Okay. So superheated is P3 and T2, that is in superheated region. Whereas this HF and Hg, these are, you can take from saturated property table only. Okay. This way, either the separating and throttling calorimeter can be used to find the dryness fraction of the wet steam when the steam is more wet, say around 0.8 to 0.9, around that dryness fraction, where it has got more amount of moisture. So first what we do in the separating calorimeter, we will remove the moisture. How to remove the moisture? We only change the direction of the flow. So the steam will go up, the water will being denser, it will fall down. That is collected in the separator, and we call it as M1 mass 1. In the second stage, we will again throttle it, and after throttling, what happens? The steam will become superheated steam, and we find out the temperature T3 as well as pressure P3. Okay, and the entire steam is condensed using some water condenser, and then the condensate is called as M3. Now, using the relationship here, H3 is equal to H2 is equal to 1 minus X2 in bracket HF plus X2 into Hg. At P is equal to P1, we will find out the uh, dryness fraction X2, because other things are known here. This H2 and H3 are known from the table, and uh, this HF and Hg can be we can obtain from the saturated property table or the steam table for the pressure P1. This way you can find out. Once we solve the numericals, one or two numericals on this, you will appreciate and understand this concept in a better way. So it is a very simple thing. We are first removing the water, and then whatever wet steam is there, we are expanding, throttling it to convert it into superheated steam. And in the superheated steam, I find the temperature and pressure. We can plot it on directly Euler diagram and find out the dryness fraction. Thank you.